Hey guys, this is Mr. Latours, and we're over here at the Mount Juliet Library, and we're going to wrap it up today on our whole entire solar system. So we're going to go back to the year 1906, when Percival Lowell is going to discover, or at least he's going to theorize, that there's another planet just outside the orbit of Neptune. And he does so by way of discovering that there are perturbations in that orbit, and he theorizes that there's another planet out there, and he gives that name Planet X to that particular planet. In 1930, an astronomer named Clyde Tombaugh is going to discover that there really is a planet out there. Now the issue is, what are we going to name it? Planet X just doesn't cut it. So there's literally a competition to determine what the name of that planet is going to be. An 11-year-old girl comes up with the name Pluto, who is the god of the underworld. Whoa, that's a weird little girl. But in either case, that's what it's going to be. And later that year, Disney is going to come out with another character called Pluto. We don't know for certain whether or not it was named after the planet. But now this brings us to Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. It's going to stay that way until the year 2003. The year 2003, another planet called Eris is going to be discovered. Then in rapid succession, one right after the other, Makemake is discovered in the year 2004. Haumea is discovered in 2004. Gangan is going to be discovered in 2007. Quasar is going to be discovered as early as the year 2002. Those are also going to be called planets. So you can see over there in that picture, you can just barely make this out. This is because the Hubble telescope is going to be so advanced. And remember, guys, we've still got another planet-like object in the asteroid belt called Ceres that was discovered in the year 1801. Astronomers start to say, wait a second, we can't call all these things planets. So what they do is they come up with a very definite criteria. If we're going to call something a planet, it must have a circular object. It can't be a satellite around another object in space. It has to have a very definite shape and has to clear out a path by way of its gravitational pull as it goes around the sun. Using this criteria, this means Eris, bam, out. Makemake, bam, out. Haumea, bam, out. Okay? In fact, they create a brand new criteria called a dwarf planet. A dwarf planet is going to be a celestial body that's orbiting around the sun, similar to a planet, but it lacks the necessary criteria in order to call it a planet. Think of Snow White and the 7 dwarfs now. I'll give you a second. Can you name them? Not bad. Maybe you got all of them, but in case you didn't, here we go. Doc, happy, sleepy, bashful, sneezy, dopey, and my favorite, grumpy. But in either case then, guys, we're going to have to come up with a new set of 7 dwarfs. And these 7 dwarfs are now going to be those dwarf planets of Eris, Makemake, Haumea, Ceres, Gangan, and Quasar. Duh, but Mr. Latours, that's only 6. Where is the 7th planet, the 7th dwarf planet? Well, actually, guys, when they took that criteria and they applied it to the planet Pluto, bam, Pluto gets kicked out of the club, and they are now going to classify it as a dwarf planet. So the 7 dwarf planets are Eris, Makemake, Haumea, Ceres, Gangan, Quasar, and now Pluto. You can take a look over there. Look at the size, okay? You see Earth, the moon, and then underneath that is Pluto. Pluto is actually smaller than our moon, guys, okay? Notice over here, these are going to be most of the dwarf planets, but you're also going to take notice of the fact that Pluto and Chiron also are the reason why Pluto got demoted. Normally a planet is like this and the moon orbits around it. Remember the criteria in order for something to be called a planet is it can't orbit around something else. Well, what happens with both Pluto and Chiron, it doesn't orbit like this, but rather they orbit around each other. And for that reason, they took Pluto, kicked it out of the club, and then Chiron, which used to be called the moon, it's called the moon because it orbits around the planet. This ain't a planet anymore. That means that this ain't a moon anymore either. Now this over here, this is Sirius. It's about the size of Texas. It's going to be an asteroid that's going to be found in that belt that's going to exist between Mars and Jupiter. With the exception of Sirius, all of the other dwarf planets are going to be found in something that we call the Kuiper Belt. The Kuiper Belt is going to be an area well towards the very end of our solar system where there's going to be lots of frozen asteroids bopping around over there. These objects are going to be called trans-Neptunian objects, okay? Trans meaning beyond. Now, Voyager 1 is in that region right now as we speak. This Kuiper Belt is going to be the leftover remnants from the Big Bang, and that's where we're going to find most of the dwarf planets found. Now, beyond that area is going to be Oort's cloud, okay? Oort's cloud is going to be similar to the Kuiper Belt, but it's going to be even further out than that. This is where we are right now, guys. Over there is where we're going to find Voyager 1, and it's truly at the end of the line. I promise you I won't sing, guys. So here we are. We are now at the end of our solar system. Voyager 1 has reached its way all the way out over there. Guys, I wish I were a lot younger, okay? You're going to be able to see what's going to be happening as we get outside of our solar system. In all probability, I ain't going to be around to do that. So let me just leave you with one thought, guys. Live long and prosper. I think the solar system is really a fascinating thing. Take care, guys.